What's good, people? So a lot of people was asking me for my Sonic Movie 3 thoughts and opinions on it. I decided to hop on stream and yap for like an hour and 30 about the movie. We tried to cover everything in the movie, but honestly, it was like I only saw it once and my memory's kind of spotty. Chat kind of helped me out a little bit, but we tried to touch everything and get my thoughts on everything. So yeah, if you guys want more yap sessions like this, you know, hit the like button and subscribe. You feel me? Yeah. First off, I want to say it was a really good movie. It was actually pretty solid movie. I'm not gonna lie. It was very solid movie. It's funny because I went on Thursday after work, and I was like, all right. I was like, okay. I kind of don't want to go see it with like a whole bunch of kids in there, like screaming Shadow, Sonic, ah! Like I didn't want that because I didn't want like, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to like watch the movie without like, you know, a whole bunch of screens and blah 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 blah, because I do think this is gonna go crazy, right? So I went after work. My showing was at 10, and it was on a school day. So I was like, okay, not gonna be busy, even though it's opening night. It's probably not gonna be that crazy because it's a kids movie. You feel me? Definitely a kids movie. Everybody, you know, all the kids probably gonna go see it on Friday. Like it's a school night too type shit. So I was like, okay, yeah, cool. When I got to the movie theater, I was the only person in there. I kid you not. It's not like, oh, it was just me, somebody else, like a couple other people. No, it was just me. It was just me. I was the only person there. So that's the first time that has ever happened to me. Usually when I go to the movies, I go with somebody, but I don't have Sonic friends IRL, so you feel me? And also, it was just after work. It was just an after work thing because that was the only time I would be able to go. So I was in the movie theaters by myself on opening night of Sonic Movie 3. And it's funny, I'm not the only one. It's so funny. I was watching, while I was at work today, I was watching Charlie Penguin. I forget the rest of his name, but y'all know who Charlie is. You know what I'm saying? I was watching his shit. And he was saying that he also went opening night at like 9, and it was him and one other dude. I'm like, are people only taking their kids to see this movie? That's not a problem, but it was just very interesting. I was like, oh, okay, which is, it's cool though, but it's like, it's almost like that's like the only people that are going to watch this are like people like adults, like people that grew up with Sonic that are like older now and got kids, and it's like, okay, yeah, let's take our kids to go see the movie, or our like younger cousins or whatever to go see the movie. And it was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy, right? So yeah, it was just me in that movie. So I didn't get the theatrical experience with this movie. It's funny, I literally just watched it as a movie, which is something that I usually watch. You know, it usually happens on like second, you know, viewing, which I was scared of doing with this movie because I felt like I was gonna like it a lot watching it first time, and then next time I watch it, it's like, oh god, I don't actually like this movie, because that's what happened with the first two movies. But even now, I'm scared to rewatch it again. I'm going to rewatch it again, but I'm scared because I'm like, damn, maybe I might find more holes that make me not like the movie. But yeah, I was watching it by myself. I was the only person in there. There was times where I screamed out loud, and you know, nobody was there screaming with me. It was kind of sad, but that was my experience. So yeah, that's funny. But overall, solid movie. I like it. Does it change my mind on like movie Sonic and like just the movies in general? Because if you guys, you know, be on the streams and stuff like that, by the way, you should, you know, follow me on Twitch. You feel me? Yeah, hit the follow type. Yeah, spam me up over there. You would know my feelings on the movies, and it's just kind of like I can't fully get behind it because I know they don't cater to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't cater to me as a Sonic fan, which is funny because I think they also cater to people who are very much Sonic fans. But to me, what I like of Sonic, like it doesn't do it for me. I'm not like all the way there with it. So, did Sonic Movie 3 change my mind? That no, but like, am I excited for like future movies? Probably not. Like it probably like it's probably just gonna be like a thing where okay, new movie, let's go check it out, see what it is. Cool. Very fan servicey. These movies are, but outside of that, there aren't like it's not like oh yeah, this is like the greatest storyline like to come out of the Sonic franchise. Like it's not. It wasn't anything like that. Was not anything like that at all. Um, but let's actually talk about I guess things I liked about the movie. Um, One thing I do see a lot of people talk about is the pacing, which I do have problems with. I don't I don't very much have problems with the pacing in the beginning because them starting off with Shadow was a strong move. I was like, okay, yeah, introduce him immediately. Thank God. Introduce that man immediately. Oh yeah, y'all if y'all haven't watched the movie, what are you doing here? Like spoilers, obviously. But them starting off with Shadow and him breaking out of Prison Island and stuff like that was cool. Lasted. I wish it was longer. Definitely wish it was a bit longer. He kind of just beats up some guys, and then they're like, "Oh, that's all the people we got." And I'm just like, "How the fuck is that everybody you have? You sent like a dozen niggas after him. What? Like y'all should be like shutting down like super protocol, like no one escapes type shit." Because wasn't that like no, I'm thinking about Sonic X. I remember in Sonic X, it was like, oh yeah, Sonic's not escaping this joint. Like we got this shit locked down or whatever. But anyway, yeah, it was kind of just easy. And I was like, okay, like sure, like okay, kind of lame that they did Prison Island like that. But you know, Prison Island, I don't even know if that's what they call it in the movies. But yeah, it was kind of lame. I was like, all right, oh cool, that's fine. I'm trying to think in order here, so I might be going out of order at some times, but after that you get like Sonic and Co. like they're doing a race, and then it's like oh it's Sonic's birthday, like or his you know his anniversary of him like being with Tom and them like that, and that was a cool scene. That was cool. You got Tails and Knuckles who are pretty decent in this movie. I'm not gonna lie. There are some moments with like the characters interacting that I wish there was like a little bit more of. You know, because they're kind of like a team here, and I wish we got a little bit more. But I think that's just an overall pacing problem. Like the movie, I feel like the movie could have been a lot longer, man. Could have been a lot longer, but then it's just like, oh, gun pulls up, and it's like, ah, yo, look, there's a fucking alien hedgehog destroying Tokyo. I kind of need y'all. And they're just like, okay, yeah, fuck it, let's go. It's like, oh, okay, this is starting like now. Like this is actually starting now, which I thought was good. I was like, okay, yeah, fuck all the human shit, fuck all that joint, get me straight into the action. I was here for it. I was definitely here for it. And then I'm not gonna lie to you, the Tokyo section was really fucking good. I liked all of it. Some of it, or a lot of it that we've seen in like trailers and stuff like that, of you know Shadow versus Team Sonic and stuff, and yeah, seeing the whole thing all the way through, that was really fucking good. I actually, even though I think they definitely treat movie Sonic and a lot of action scenes like he's Spider-Man with all the like quips and talking and stuff like that. You even get like Shadow talking about some. The more you talk, the more I want to hit you or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, me too, Shadow. Like, me too, right? But yeah, I will say though, after Shadow completely eviscerates them, gets on the bike with the gun, and starts like driving away, and Sonic's like, yeah, I'm going after them. And they're like, oh yeah, no, we're supposed to be a team or whatever. Like, stay with the team. And I'm just like, man, y'all don't chase after this nigga too, right? But you know, whatever, right? Sonic went straight for it. I was like, oh, okay, so we're getting it. We're getting this shit right now. Okay. God, that shit was so fucking cool, bro. Yeah, Shadow shooting the gun at him. He's like spin dashing the tire, and they're like clashing like that. I was like, oh shit. I was like, hold on, this is pretty fucking cool. So that whole segment was like fire. I like that a lot. I'm not even mad at some of the quips that he said at Shadow there. The highlights joint was like it was like but he was saying some other stuff like I remember he said some shit like oh what's called you're running through the city destroying things, that's kind of my thing. I'm like, yeah, he did do that in the second movie. I do remember him doing that in the second movie. But just like stuff like that's cool, but it still felt very Spider-Man-y, but it was still like like I liked it for the context of the movie. Like just them having banter together. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it, but that was cool. You got like the whole thing with them going up the building and stuff like that, seeing all that shit in like real time. That shit was really fucking cool. Shadow like jumping off the fucking motorcycle in midair, like facing upside down, and then Sonic's gearing up this joint, and then they knock the lights out the city or whatever. It was only for like a second though, so that was kind of interesting, right? So that whole scenario there, honestly, in Sonic and Shadow's interactions in the movie were all really good. I don't have a problem with their interactions at all. Even though like movie Sonic isn't my favorite adaptation of the character, right? But their dialogue together was pretty good, like throughout the whole thing. It was really good. So I am happy about that, right? Again, not ideal, but for what the movies are, yeah, it was pretty good. What happens after that? They meet up at the Chow Garden. I remember they meet up at the Chow Garden, right? And I'm just like, why the fuck is there a Chow Garden? I'm like, that was a bit weird to me. I'm like, why? Like, even in the trailers, I was like, why is this here? Like, do they have chows in the like Sonic verse somehow? Like, I don't really understand that, but it just got converted to just some kind of like dinery in Japan or something like that, some kind of cafe in Japan. I was like, that's kind of weird. But yeah, they go there, and the gun commander. Oh god, dude, the gun commander sucked in this movie, bro. He stinks. Even some of the dialogue, it was just so weird. It was so weird. Like it was very like, this was when I started detecting like some pacing issues, bro. Because it's like he shows up there, and the first thing he says is, in fact, let me pull up the trailer, because this is a line in the trailer. This was a line in the trailer. Like the first thing he says to them, like he asks him like, okay, what's up with the black hedgehog or whatever. Let me see. Sonic movie. Like I shit you not, this was the first thing he said to them. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, that's weird. Sonic movie 3 trailer. That's the first trailer, right? I think it's the first trailer.
Shadow's story began a lot like yours.
This line.
But where you found family and friends, Shadow found only pain and loss.
Like, you hear how they like spaced out this line, like it was like he was going through the backstory of Shadow and explaining it to them. No, this is like the first thing he says to them. It's like the first thing he says to them, like after they ask him. It's like, okay. He's like, that's kind of a weird line read right there. Like that just felt very rushed. And then they go through the whole thing about it, and it was just like, what the fuck? It was so weird. Then Agent Stone shows up, and then we get the infamous Konichi what line, which makes me want to literally strangle him and pop his head off, right? Very terrible. Like, the jokes in these shits are like, obviously comedy subjective, whatever. But there's like, oh god, the jokes are so bad, man. Like, especially the ones that they write for Sonic, they're so bad. They're so bad, man. Oh, like, I already don't think Sonic should be a jokester. But then you, like, don't even write good jokes? And that's where I get kind of... That's when I get kind of mad. But yeah. So... No, the Eggman robots show up. So Gerald Robotnik is controlling Eggman's robots and stuff like that, and they like killed the gun commander. He dies. Like, he fucking dies, and it's crazy because like I'm thinking like, okay, is he dead for real? It's like he's dead. I was like, no way, right? Because I'm over here thinking like, okay, surely he's going to have some kind of like connection to Shadow. I was thinking he was gonna be like Abraham Towers, right? Well, he is in the hospital. Yeah, but like he might as well be dead because he doesn't show up in the movie ever again. Like, that shit is crazy. The fourth wall break, is that in the scene I'm talking about? I know they do a fourth wall break with Gerald and Dr. Eggman, but yeah, you might as well be dead because he doesn't show up ever again. Well, he shows up again, but you know, it's not really him, right? But we're gonna get to that scene because we're gonna get to that scene, right? But yeah, so Agent Stone shows up, and then we get the Kenichi what line, and he's like doing a whole bunch of crazy shit and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, all right. So that's happening. I think he takes them to Eggman. Yeah, he takes them to Eggman. Oh no, the gun commander dies, and he gives them like a key to like the Eclipse cannon or some shit. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna give it to you guys. Like, don't, you know what I'm saying? Let anybody, don't, you know, keep it safe or whatever." And then Gun shows up late after they already left to go see Eggman, Agent Stone, and they're like, "Ah, I knew it." No, the fucking gun lady, bro. Oh my god, that's another character that's just fucking nothing. Like, what is she, right? What the fuck is she? What is she, bro? Anyway, we're gonna talk about her later too. She does nothing in this movie, I swear to God. So she shows up, he's like, I knew it. The Sonic and Co, they're working against us because, you know, the scene just looks bad. Like, they went to meet with Sonic and then the commander's dead or whatever, right? So now, and it's so weird because, like, I think Tails or Knuckles, no, it probably was Tails because he's a smart one, right? Because he's like, oh, should we just go? Like, why should we do that? And Sonic's like, oh, we can't trust Gun. We can't trust Gun. We can't trust anybody. Or whatever. And then they just leave. And I'm just like, I think you can trust Gun, bro. Like, I'm pretty sure you can trust Gun. Like, I get Gun, like, was holding Shadow for whatever, but like, y'all have a mutual enemy here. Like, I'm pretty sure y'all can trust them, but whatever, right? So he just takes the key and leaves. I was like, alright, cool. We're going to the next scene. They meet up with Eggman. He's fat. He's like, okay, I'll work with y'all, I guess. You know, Jim Carrey funny stuff or whatever in between there. But he's like, oh, one condition, Sonic. And then Sonic's like, okay, here, I'll give you my quill or whatever. I want you to know, Eggman does one thing with this fucking quill, and it's the dumbest shit ever, right? But he borderline does nothing with this quill. Like, he doesn't do anything with it. It's just weird that he asks for it if he doesn't do anything with it. So it's just like, okay. He like gets a high off of it because like he likes to lick it or something. It gives him like, yeah, getting high off the quill, yeah, it's like drugs to him. Like, it gives him a zap. Like, it's very weird. It's so weird. So that happens. Now they team up, and then they go to, help me out here, chat. They go to the facility that they was holding Shadow and Maria, right? But I believe, do we get the Maria flashback before that or after or during that? Because I know Shadow and Gerald are also there. Or Shadow goes back there. Is that first or I can't remember. We're gonna act like that's first because Shadow goes back to that what's called, yeah, the gun base. He goes back to the gun base and he sees it's destroyed and all that, and then we get the Maria flashback. So Shadow's not held on the Ark. The Ark doesn't exist in this movie, right? There is no the Ark. There's only the Eclipse cannon, which is fine. I mean, it's whatever, as long as there's something in space, right? Maria isn't sick in this movie. She's kind of just a girl that be around her grandfather, which is like, okay, cool. That's, I mean, sure. I prefer her to be sick. Like, I prefer the, you know, the whole stuff with the original storyline with Maria. But I like how they kind of just make Maria, like, she's just a kid. Like, she's kind of just like a goofy kid. And, like an innocent, she's just an innocent child for Shadow to interact with, right? And it's just the fact that she's just a normal girl, like, and she changes like Shadow is cool. So she ends up like she has like roller skates and stuff too. And I'm like, oh, okay, is that because like she helps Shadow like design, like, or they incorporate like the fact that she designed the air shoes or whatever? But no, it was just like she just has roller skates. So I'm like, okay. she sees Shadow is like in like stasis or whatever, right? And that scene was really fucking good because like Shadow's always like you know what I'm saying, like angrily looking, right? And she like mocks him. She goes like and that shit made me laugh. That shit made me laugh because that shit was funny as fuck. Because and then she smiles and laughs it off because it's like, dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Like already showing like, hey, yo, like lighten up a little bit. You feel me? And you see as they're like hanging out, they do like just random kid shit, like watching movies together, throwing popcorn at each other. She fucking she Shadow takes Maria on for a ride with her roller skates. She like ties a rope to him, and it's like she's walking a dog, but it's like a Shadow, so he's like jetting through like the labs and stuff like that. That shit was fire. That was cool. And they have a scene where they're sitting in the flowers too, that we saw in the Dark Beginnings joint as like a little like Shadow having like a flash of like a alternate universe of Marie being alive and then being on Earth. They actually have that scene, and that was cool too. And there's this whole thing about like the star and how even if it goes out, like the light is still there and stuff like that, and that like comes back around. That kind of stuff was really cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, the meteor. Yeah, okay, thank you, BBK. That's right, the meteor. That was weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. All of that was weird, bro. All of that was fucking weird. The fact that he comes from a meteor, like it's Spider-Man 3, like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3. He comes from a meteor. He's not created, right? I don't know if I like that. I don't think I like that. He just comes from a random meteor, which is like, I don't really understand that because like Sonic's not from this world. You know what I'm saying? Sonic's not from this world. He's from a different dimension. He got here through, or is it a different dimension, chat? Or is it that he's from a different planet? Is that how that works? He's from a different planet, not a different dimension? I don't know. But the meteor shit was weird. Because if it is a different dimension, then what the fuck is the meteor? Like, what is that, right? So that was weird. But, you know, I guess they didn't want to do the whole Maria is sick thing. And that's why Shadow's created. I appreciate that a lot more with his origin, like his in-game like origins. I like that a lot more because it gives Shadow like a more of a purpose than like, oh, he just fell out of the fucking sky and we ran some tests on him and type shit. It is different planet. Okay, that's fine then. That's fine then. Okay. Because I'm always like, is he from like a different dimension? That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, is he from a different dimension? Well, that was weird. But okay, that's fine. But yeah, so all that stuff is cool. It's fire. Shadow. No, what they show, I believe in this flashback is like, I want to say they show him like spinning around the laboratory, like trying to like, no, like it's like they're testing out the Eclipse cannon or some shit. I can't remember the whole thing with Gerald. I don't know. It's a little bit akin to you know, Sonic Adventure 2 with like him working with the government to make like a weapon or whatever, probably the Eclipse cannon, and like Shadow was like powering up, and then like there's boom, the explosion, and then I think they get brung out of it. But basically with the flashback, gun comes through. They try to shoot Maria with like, Maria, Gerald, and all them with like a laser gun. It's not an actual gun. The gun commander was there, and he was way younger, and he was actually like a chill. He was actually a chill guy. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like, oh yeah, like he actually tried to stop the guns, like the gun people from like, no, don't shoot at them. Like, what are you doing? Blah 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 blah, whatever. And they're like, oh no, we got to get rid of all evidence. I could be completely wrong about this. I don't know. I only see it once, and it was a couple of days ago, but. Yeah, they end up shooting something, and then like Maria dies in the explosion. So that's how she goes out. She doesn't get shot, right? Which I'm fine with because people like to laugh at Maria getting shot. And I'm glad they didn't do that because if people started, well, I didn't have anybody else there, but you know, If people, I can just only imagine you're in a theater full of people and like you just have some fucking jackasses laughing about a girl getting shot in a movie, right? Like it's just fucking stupid. But yeah, she dies horribly in an explosion. Very sad, very sad. But that's the whole thing with that. So Sonic and Co, Eggman, they're working together. They end up splitting up. Tails goes with like Agent Stone, Sonic goes with Eggman, and then Knuckles, I think Knuckles just goes by himself. Knuckles apparently is afraid of Ghost, which I found funny because like of the whole SA2 like level stuff with like all the ghost stuff that Knuckles was doing there. So I found that to be kind of funny. Shadow starts acting like a fucking horror movie villain, and he starts sneaking up on everybody in the dark and stuff like that. He sneaks up on fucking Shadow first. Like, and Knuckles freaks the fuck out, but he gets dropped off. Ends up doing the same thing to Tails and Agent Stone. Oh yeah, Tails and Agent Stone have a moment here where like Agent Stone is like, oh, so does like Sonic pay you or whatever? Like how does that work or some shit? And he's like, no, we're just friends or whatever. And Agent Stone's like, oh yeah, me and Eggman are the same or whatever. So they have like a little thing going on there. But I feel like Agent Stone would just, I don't know, he kind of just like feels bad that eventually Eggman, relates more with, or just spends more time with Gerald than him, so that he kind of just goes off or whatever. He doesn't really do much in this movie. But anyway, so yeah, Shadow's like gathering them all together, and then we get the reveal that Gerald's alive and he's Eggman's grandfather or whatever, right? So it's like cool. So now Eggman's working with them, with Gerald and Shadow. And they get out of there and they send a fucking black hole to kill Sonic and Co. They end up getting out because of the ring. And it's so funny because like I was laughing out loud because like Sonic X, right? We've been watching Sonic X, and I always talk about the fucking ring. The fucking Deus Ex Machina ring. It's like, give him a ring. And it's like, that's what saved him in this moment. I was laughing because of that. But that was cool. So they go to Tom and Maddie, and they're like, hey guys, fucking Shadow's being evil. We need y'all help for this, that, the third. So now they get involved. They plan like a whole heist on this gun thing, this gun base that's in London, which is very interesting that it's just all the way over there in London. It's like, why is it in London? So, but that was weird. But they go to London and they plan like a whole thing of how they're gonna go in there or whatever. Tom and Maddie end up like disguising themselves as like gun like employees, and who they disguise themselves as is the Maddie's sister, I forgot her name, and her fiance that ended up being a gun soldier. So they're not actually in this movie. They just make a little cameo because they are Tom and Maddie because they're using like shape-shifting like technology or whatever. That scene was I just felt like forced, like just to add them in because the way they sneak in is so fucking stupid. She like turns into her sister and she's like, oh, you're gonna let us in. Like she basically just like girl bosses her way in. He's like, oh, you don't want to get fired, do you, or whatever. And he's like, oh, no. And then they just let them in, even though it's supposed to be on like super like lockdown mode or lockdown protocol. They just let them in because, oh, she's gonna get me fired. Like, what the fuck? No ID, no nothing. They just get in, right? So doesn't really make any sense. But sure, it wasn't funny either. Like, it wasn't funny. I'm saying, like, I don't think they're very good at writing jokes, man. At least to me, like, the jokes just did not hit, like, at all. And like, I've watched other like animations that were meant for kids that are funny, so it's not like oh, I'm too old for this, like, for it to hit me. Like, nah, like, I watched Puss in Boots, like, a Last Witch, and that shit was funny, like. So I don't think that's it. I just don't like the comedy that they use in this movie, right? But anyway, so moving forward, they get into Gun HQ. Sonic and Co end up getting in there. I can't remember how they really do that. They have a run-in with the gun lady. And she had like this like she's like there and she traps some of them, I believe, but then they all kind of get trapped in like this gravity like thing, gizmo or whatever. We have a scare with like Tom and Maddie and all them like dying or whatever, so like Sonic ends up saving them through like fear of losing Tom, right? So that happens. I believe Tails actually does something that's pretty fucking badass in the midst of all of that. So Agent Stone and Shadow are like in this crab like Eggman mech that they showed them like when they meet up with Eggman for the first time, and they're like underwater because they're like in the sewers, but the crab can like be in water and stuff like that because it's a crab, right? Like it's designed to be like a submarine or whatever. So Agent Stone and Shadow, they're in there, right, underground, waiting for like a signal from Gerald or whatever. Shadow tells Agent Stone like, "Oh, what's called? There won't be nothing left when we're done because we're gonna blow up the fucking planet." So Agent Stone learns that. Tails ends up like flooding the place, which was fucking crazy. That was badass. So Agent Stone kind of gets fucking washed up. But I just find it funny because, like, okay, he flooded them, but, like, isn't the crab supposed to be, like a submarine? So, I don't really understand that, but they kind of get fucked up there. Shadow, I think, teleports out of there. I could be completely wrong about this scene. I can't really remember. I'm trying to piece it all together. But that's from what I remember. Shadow gets up out of there. He ends up being in the Gun HQ, or whatever. This part of the movie is very, like, I don't really know because it wasn't that interesting to me personally. It wasn't very that interesting. Probably like the least interesting point of the movie because the gun lady doesn't do anything. Tom and Maddie are just there like goofing around or whatever. And the whole like heist thing was just like whatever. Tom gets the key from the lady. Okay, Tom gets the key from the lady. So that ends up happening, and he disguised himself as the gun commander, right? Now, oh yeah, this is the scene that made me bust out fucking laughing. This was hilarious, right? So in the flashbacks, I don't know his name, but the gun commander was like younger. He was probably in his 20s or whatever, and you know he seemed to be pretty chill guy. I don't know what else he did or if he ever interacted with Shadow, but Shadow pulls up on Tom that's in disguise as the gun commander, right? After he takes the key. In fact, no, hold on. Let's talk about the gun lady first, bro. Let's talk about the gun lady first. Because the gun lady, what the fuck, right? You know, the gun commander comes to the lady, and he's like, "Oh, what's called? We need the key, blah, blah, blah. That's an order." And she's like hesitant. She's like hesitant because it's like, I don't know why she's hesitant. She's just like, "Oh, I don't want to give it to you, even though you're my commander." But she ends up giving it to him anyway, and then she like disappears from the movie entirely. She's gone. So at first I'm like, okay, maybe there's like some ulterior motive. Maybe she's like trying to be gun commander and like she doesn't agree with, like, she wants to be boss lady and it's like, oh, I don't want to give it to you. You're an old guy or whatever. But she just like hesitates, gives it to him, and then she just out of the movie. So that was fucking stupid. It was such a pointless character. Don't know what the fuck was going on there, right? I was wondering if they was gonna make her like the Abraham Towers of the movie, and she has like a connection with Shadow, and like she wants to make sure that Shadow gets put down because Shadow's a monster for destroying Maria. Like maybe she was like Maria's childhood friend or something. There's nothing there. She just leaves, and it's like, wow, what a nothing burger ass character. But anyway, Shadow pulls up on Tom that's disguised as the commander, and like I said in the flashbacks, he was pretty chill. He was like, you know what I'm saying, not trying to kill Maria or whatever. But Shadow pulls up on him like, oh, Commander, whatever his name is, right? Like he knew him. Like he knew, like, you're that guy, right? And then I think Tom's like, whoa, type shit. Like, no. There's no dialogue exchange, no nothing, from what I remember. And Shadow just literally says, yeah, fuck you in particular. And he punches Tom in the fucking stomach, and Tom goes flying. When I tell you, I was dying laughing. It happened so fast. The scene happened so fucking fast. Correct me if I'm wrong though, if there was anything else there. And maybe it was moving so fast that like I was like, oh, okay, what the hell was happening? I don't really remember that like anything else happening in that scene. But I just remember him being like, oh, you. It's you, right? And he fucking punches him. But by this point, Shadow's like consumed by revenge, right? So it's really just like, oh, gun guy, beat him up, right? Like, let's just beat him up. But it's just so funny that he named him like he remembered him vividly, like he did something, right? And he just, the first thing to do was just punch him. It was just so fucking funny. It was so fucking funny, right? And like the zooming on like the zooming on Tom slash gun commander guy. And it's just like Shadow. It was just like, what the fuck? I was like, oh my god. I knew Tom wasn't gonna die though. I was like, I don't think they have the balls to do that, right? But Sonic shows up and he's like, Tom, what happened? And then like Shadow like sees that it wasn't the gun commander. And you can tell he's like, ah, fuck, like, damn, I just killed an innocent guy. But he's like, revenge, right? So he has a second thought about it, but then he's like somebody asks him, what did you do? And then you get the line, what I had to, which is like crazy. By the way, Keanu Reeves in this movie, God, so good. He was really fucking good, right? Way better than the goddamn DLC stage. Good God. Keanu Reeves killed it, right? Killed it. So yeah, Shadow teleports out there after he drops that line. And Sonic's pissed, right? They put like Tom in the hospital. No, this was also funny as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. I was laughing. I was laughing because we get the scene of like Tom being like put in the ER vans or whatever, the ER trucks, and like Maddie's there, and like she like goes in, and it's like I don't know what kind of facial expression they told her to make. But she had I couldn't tell what to get from her in the scene. Was she just like sad? Was she disappointed in Sonic for like not protecting Tom? Was she mad at Sonic for not protecting Tom? I don't know, because she got in the van, looked at Sonic, and gave the most blank expression ever, and I was just like, why are you looking at him like that? No words, no nothing. It was just like Dexter. As they close the door and they fucking, what's it called? And you just take them away. It was just like, what the fuck? It was just like, what the hell, man? So Sonic's pissed, right? Knuckles and Tails, like, they're like, oh damn, well, this is sad, but we should like think of a plan or whatever. And Sonic's like, fuck that, right? I think this is where the pacing of the movie. This is where I really was like, okay, the pacing of the movie is fucking insane. Like, it's not that good. It's like, this movie should have been like a good another 30 minutes longer, man. Because what I'm about to explain here happens so fucking fast, it's crazy. So, Eggman and Shadow, they're on the Ark or whatever. I think they showed that a little bit later, but they're there. They're just there, right? Sonic is like very angry. He's like, no, we gotta go after them now or whatever. And he brings up the Master Emerald and saying like, okay, I'm going to go fucking Super Sonic and beat the fuck out of Shadow because he just killed Tom right in front of my face, right? And Knuckles is like, all right, well, we can't use the Master Emerald for revenge. Like, what the fuck? Like, let's devise a plan. Let's see what the hell's going on here. And Sonic's like, man, fuck that shit, right? He's like, nah, fuck that. And Tails trying to keep them all together. He's like, yo, no, we're a team. And he's like, oh, bro, like, none of that matters right now. He just killed my father. I want to kill him, right? And Knuckles, right here, I was so disappointed in this scene. I was a bit disappointed in this scene because here's why I wish the movie was a little bit longer. Because, like, Knuckles and Sonic are obviously at odds here. They're like, okay, no, you're not doing this. You got to go, like, Knuckles says, you're going to have to go through me type shit. And Sonic's like, I'm not gonna ask twice, Knuckles. Oh my god, no. I can't actually forget this. One thing about the scene though, which was fucking crazy. I'm not a big fan of Ben Schwartz. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Voice of Sonic. But I kid you not, this fucking line read from Ben was fucking crazy. Like I was like so confused. when I heard it. It was so different from how he usually sounds. When he said I'm not gonna ask twice, Nux, he calls him Nux. I was like, that's like the first time I ever heard him call him Nux. I could be wrong though. But that line read was fucking crazy. It damn near sounded like Jason. I could have been tweaking. But it sounded like a Jason Griffith line read of him saying, I'm not gonna ask you twice, Nux. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh shit. I was like, whoa. I was like, wait. Is this the coming to age? Him becoming the character that we all know and love? I was like, what the fuck? That shit was crazy. But anyway, so they're like angrily staring at each other. I'm like, oh shit, are we gonna get like a Knuckles versus Sonic? Like Sonic's gonna like run to the Master Emerald, because I was assuming that he knew where it was, because they were all guarding it, I guess. But only Knuckles knew where it was. But I thought we was gonna get like a chase scene of like, okay, Knuckles is gonna try to stop Sonic or whatever. Like Knuckles and Tails gonna try to stop Sonic, and Sonic's gonna go try to find the Emerald or whatever. It was gonna like I don't think that was gonna fight, but that was gonna be something there, like an action scene that was gonna like build their bond together or whatever, right? That's not what happens. They angrily stare at each other for a little bit, and then Knuckles just like gives in. He's just like, okay, fine, but you're gonna have to go face a warrior. You got to go through a warrior that's, you know, whatever, like this worthy god that's guarding the Master Emerald, and it's fucking Wade playing hockey on the roof with the Master Emerald, bro. I was like, bruh. I was like, what the fuck? I was so mad because like it just diffused so fast, and Knuckles just easily gave in. Was like, okay, fine. You want to go kill the guy? Go kill the nigga. Yeah, that shit was ass, man. And I'm gonna just talk about the Chaos Emeralds in this movie. Underutilized, like underutilized as fuck, right? Very underutilized. Alright, relax. The fact that it was just like Ray's just playing ice hockey with it, like some guardian of the Master Emerald, right? I was very disappointed. I thought they like all hit it somewhere and they all knew where it was, and we was gonna just get something out of that. So that was kind of lame. So he just tells him, okay, Wade has it, and is like, so Sonic uses the ring to teleport the Raid, and he's just like, hey, I need that emerald. And then I don't even know what Wade said. I was just like, whatever, this is weird. But Sonic ends up getting the Master Emerald. He crushes it and literally just turns Super Sonic like immediately. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay. like right here though, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of like, oh shit. I was like, well, fuck. didn't expect this to be early on, right? Like to happen here. I was like, this is fucking crazy. So he turns Super Sonic, and he fucking beelines straight to where Shadow is. He just knows where Shadow is, by the way. The Eclipse scan is in space. He just knows where he is. He goes straight for fucking Shadow, bro. and he literally, like, he doesn't go for Eggman, for Gerald, nothing, no. He just goes straight for Shadow, and he, like, literally yeets them out the fucking Eclipse cannon. And Shadow's like, Shadow's a real nigga. But I just know in his fucking mind. Because, like, they're like, wait, something's coming. Like, something's heading towards the arc right now. What the fuck's going on? And he's like, is that a missile? Like, what is that? Boom, takes him. But I just know damn well, Shadow in his head was like, he was like, we're cooked. Because imagine out of nowhere. Mind you, Shadow doesn't know anything. Like, he's not, like, he wasn't created with chaos energy or nothing like that. He, like he can just teleport or whatever. Like, there's no explanation on that. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Like, he shouldn't know what the fuck is going on. Sonic is just golden now, and he's angry fighting him. He's like, what the fuck? It's crazy. Joe's even plan? Okay, what is his plan, bro? What is Joe's plan? Because what is it, just to blow up Earth? Like, because I'm gonna keep it above with you. I'm skipping over a lot of Robotnik Gerald stuff because I didn't like it. I didn't like it. It was very forgettable. I wasn't a fan of it. To kill everyone and himself? Okay, I didn't catch the himself part. That's fucking crazy. How is he gonna do that? How is he gonna kill himself in GTA? He said he was created by chaos energy? Okay, I forgot that. Okay. Wait. How does he... Wait. Yeah, right. But okay, I remember they needed chaos energy to make the Eclipse cannon, right? New planet so bad the explosion kills him. Okay, that's fucking crazy. That is kind of badass. That's kind of badass. Okay, I missed that because I wasn't paying attention to most of their scenes. I was Jim Carrey'd out at that point. I will say. But how does, like, the Gerald must have ran experiments on him and was like, okay, chaos energy, right? But how does Gerald know about chaos energy? Why does he know it enough to dub it that? That's weird to me. I don't understand that. If y'all can explain that to me, go ahead. But that's very fucking weird. Must have studied or something. That or plot? It has to be plot because, like, this is, like, stuff from a different fucking planet. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wish the Chaos Emeralds were in this, like in this movie more. Because it's like, okay, we kind of need an explanation on, like, Shadow? You know what I'm saying? Like, Chaos Energy, yes. But 50 years ago, how would they know what a Master Emerald is? The Master Emerald was on, like, Sonic's distant planet. It was like the owls and the echidnas or whatever. Like, it was like at war for the Master Emerald, right? Isn't that how that works? I don't know anymore. But then again, wasn't there like a... I don't remember Sonic 2 like that either. I don't know anymore. But okay, so Gerald's plan is to kill himself and everybody else. Cool. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Gerald. Like, because I like all the goofiness and weird shit. Like, eventually he becomes more of a straight man. But I wish he was just like that. Like, he was the straight man. Like Jim Carrey doing a straight man performance with the other Jim Carrey being like the goofball. I wish that was what that was, but it was just Jim Carrey times 2, and that kind of overshadowed a lot of stuff. So I wasn't really paying attention to a lot of his things. I'm not going to lie to y'all. That's why Gerald has his own Sonic Shadow Quill. Okay, yeah, that's right. He had the Shadow Quill. Right. So he studied that for sure. Okay. He studied that. But the dub it Chaos Powers is crazy. That's a bit, I don't know. I could be missing a lot of stuff though, to be honest with you. I could be missing a lot of stuff. The Angel Island thing, right? Yeah, like it's like in Sonic movie 2, right? Wasn't there a thing where they were showing, like, on Earth, wasn't there like a thing with the Master Emerald, like that they found or whatever? No, because I don't know anymore. I don't even know anymore, bro. I forgot all about that movie. Because they find the Master Emerald, right? They find the Master Emerald in that movie, and it's on Earth. It was underwater. Right. But the Master Emerald was on Earth. How the fuck did it get to Earth, man? I don't know what's going on anymore. But anyway, yeah. Gerald's plan is to blow everybody up and kill himself, which is crazy. Cool. But yeah, back to Sonic and Shadow, right? So Sonic and Shadow, they're fighting now, and he's like, "Oh, you killed Tom, fuck you." And he's like, "Now you know how I feel, right? Like, now you know how I feel, a loved one being killed, like, right before you or some shit like that." Really cool scene, and they're literally like Sonic's like dragging him, like flying him back down to Earth, while this is happening. What's poppin'? What's good, brother? What's good, man? And then they land on Earth in like a volcano-y ass like place, right? And that's where we see in the second trailer. Let's bring up the trailers back. Hopefully my computer won't act weird again. Let's look at the second trailer, because I want to talk about this goddamn trailer. I want to talk about like a scene, a specific scene, right? So they end up here, right? Let's see, where is it? Yeah, they end up here in this place, right? The fucking lava place, right? They end up here, but Sonic's like super, right? Sonic's super. And I want to say Shadow like actually like puts up a decent fight until like, you know what I'm saying, a certain thing happens. But yeah, he ends up literally punching the emeralds out of him. I don't know how the fuck he did that, but it reminded me of Knuckles hitting Sonic in Sonic 3, and he just gets out of Super Sonic. So that was a cool callback. That was really cool. So he literally he hits him with a hing, you know what I'm saying? And the emeralds just fly out of him. He loses the super joints, right? It was fucking crazy. This shot right here. We're gonna talk about this shot. But yeah, so now the emeralds are like out of him, and they both go to like reach for it at the same time, because Sonic's like, oh damn, I need to get them back. And then Shadow's like trying to keep them away from Sonic, right? Because I'm assuming Shadow doesn't know that he can turn super, right? In fact, yeah, that's right. This shot isn't in the trailer. What's the... Let me see. Sonic movie 3 screenshots. Let's see if I can find it on here. Because it's like... It was a certain screenshot that they had dropped on like Twitter, and I was mad as fuck that they dropped that, because I was like, why did they show that? Right? I don't think I can find it. Let's put Chaos Emeralds. It's something with the Chaos Emeralds. I know it is. Okay. Yeah, here we go. So this shit right here, right? This thing right here. Let's open this up in a new tab of Reddit. Okay. Yeah, this scene, they dropped this screenshot like when that second Sonic trailer 2 whatever dropped, right around that time. This is annoying as fuck, because this is like the scene like they're going after the emerald at the same time. This obviously like I hated that they showed this, and people were acting so obtuse, like, oh, what's called, it couldn't be the climax of the movie, you don't know what he's talking about, it's not a spoiler. Nigga, I look at this and I immediately think, oh yeah, we're gonna get a fucking Super Sonic versus Super Shadow fight. That's what we're gonna get. They're both going towards the fucking Master Emeralds, and they're not on the same team here, they're not teaming up here, they're obviously going at each other. So, this is easily a fucking spoiler, you fucking dickheads that was acting obtuse, you obtuse assholes. They should not have shown this shit, because this whole time I was like, I knew that this was going to fucking happen, and it was going to be a goddamn Super Shadow versus Super Sonic thing. And I wish I didn't know that, because that was like, the way they did it was like such a shock, right? And they try to hide it here. In the movie, this shot, this nigga is Super Shadow. He's not regular Shadow. He is Super Shadow in this scene. They try to hide it here. But then you show this? Like, why would you do that? Why the fuck would you do that? It's so weird. But anyway. They both go towards the emeralds. And it's like, Sonic's like, oh, yes, I'm back, right? But then you go over to Shadow. And this motherfucker looks insane. He looked fucking sane, bro. You got like the lighter form of it, right? Like he's not just yellow like Sonic is. He's actually more like white. You feel me? It's funny. He almost looked like hyper like Shadow, because like in certain shots of the movie, he has like a rainbow kind of like effect on him, and it's weird. It's not like his skin's like a rainbow, but it's like his aura was kind of like a rainbow. It was fucking crazy. So this movie gives us a Super Sonic versus Super Shadow fight. I believe we've only ever gotten that in Sonic X, and it's Sonic X, so it wasn't really well animated. We get a insanely, like visually, like a really good Sonic versus Super Sonic versus Super Shadow fight in this movie, and it was fucking crazy. It was fucking crazy, bro. It was insane. More of a reddish color. No, okay, his aura is red indeed, but there were certain shots where it was rainbow. I'm not crazy. I was seeing it. But it was fucking crazy. It was fucking crazy. I need them to scrap longer. Yeah, it could have been longer for sure. Definitely could have been longer, but it was fucking crazy. Like Shadow like starts beating the shit out of him, but Sonic's like fighting back. You feel me? Like he's fighting back. In fact, Sonic gets you know the iconic Superman shit where like he's punching him through the air and stuff like that. Sonic gets that in this movie, and it's fucking crazy. I was like, I couldn't fucking believe it. I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, yo, this shit is insane. Like, and it was crazy because like it was like sped up crazy. Like he would go on one side punch and like it would like the camera would like swoosh forward like dummy fast and it would like do it on the other side. I was like, yo, this is crazy, bruh. So they're like having the DBZ fight of all time, and I was like, I'm so glad they made it DBZ because it was DBZ as fuck. And you know me, Sonic and DBZ goes together crazy, bro. Goes together crazy. So they end up on the moon, right? They end up on the moon or whatever. And I believe their super forms runs out or whatever. Or what happens there, Chad? I can't remember. What happened there? Because like I don't even know. What happens? What happens there? Like how do they get out of their super forms? Because I want to say Sonic actually gets the upper hand on Shadow, right? And he's like about to like give him the finishing blow, and like Shadow's like, do it. And then I think Sonic's like, oh, I can't. Fuck. Right? Yeah, he's like I can't do it because Tom gave some advice and like he kind of like brings that back or whatever. I can't remember what exactly they say. Right? Shadow loses his and Sonic says to kill him. Sonic does it. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah, early Merry Christmas for sure. Yeah, he's like I'm not like this. Yeah, Sonic has a moment. Yeah. So Sonic has a moment with Shadow, and he's like, oh, well, Maria wouldn't want you to do this or whatever, and then they basically have like a moment there, and Sonic, and it's so funny. It's so funny because when I was thinking about this scene again, I was like, man, this is exactly what like a lot of the niggas that be commenting on my IDW stuff be saying that Sonic be doing in like the mainline games. This is exactly what they think Sonic be doing to all these niggas, right? Because he kind of like, you know, changes Shadow's point of view here. He brings up the whole like no, the sun shows up, right? The sun shows up because they're on the moon. The sun shows up, and then Shadow remembers the whole like thing that Maria told him, how like, you know what I'm saying, the star is gone but the light's still there and stuff like that. That was really good. Right there. Yeah, he basically converts him to being a good guy. And they consume the emeralds again, and they both turn super, and then Live and Learn starts playing. Right now, this was really cool. Like I was in this. Like I was in there. Like I was immersed. You feel me? I've not eaten my pizza at all. That's actually really bad. But this scene pissed me the fuck off. I was so into it. They turned super. Live and Learn's playing, and this nigga Sonic, bro. I don't know whose idea was this. This pissed me off. I was so mad. This nigga Sonic says, gotta go fast. And if Shadow looks at him, he's like, oh god, don't tell me you have a catchphrase. And he's like, yeah, of course I got a catchphrase. Everybody loves it. And then that's when they start flying off and heading towards the Eclipse Cannon to like destroy it or whatever. And I was just like, bro, why did y'all have to write that joke in? Like, he did not have to say gotta go fast there, bro. And gotta go fast. It's not his fucking catchphrase, bro. I'm like, that shit generally pissed me off. Like, I said out loud, I was like, yo, yep, you fucking ruined it. I was like, you fucking ruined it. I was actually so into this scene, and that shit, it just pissed me off. It pissed me off. I wasn't laughing. I wasn't like, haha, I get it. Gotta go fast. This is catchphrase, whatever. No. It's not his fucking catchphrase. He doesn't say it at all in any of the games. It's not his catchphrase, bro. He only says it in the movies. I hate my life. So yeah, that pissed me off. That pissed me off. It genuinely like made me not like enjoy what happened afterwards as much, because I was like, it put such a sour taste in my mouth. Pause. And I was like, oh god, right? But what happens next is a really cool scene, because Gerald ended up like sending like these SA2 ass gun mechs at them. I was like, wow, they look so Adventure 2 is crazy. And they have an action scene where they're like fighting them in space or whatever and stuff like that. And then they end up hitting the SA2 pose in their super forms, and that was really fucking cool. That was cool. That was cool as fuck. I think Knuckles and Tails end up getting on. Like, right here, this is very, like, I don't really know the order of things. I know Tails and Knuckles end up on the Ark at some point. Eggman and Gerald fight. But, like, again, I was not a fan of any of the Gerald stuff. I did not like him in this movie. It was just older Jim Carrey Eggman, and it was like, bro, I'm not a fan of any of that. So they're like fighting or whatever. I think Gerald gets like the upper hand, and Eggman beat. Oh, the only thing I remember is Eggman beats him by using the sonic quill, and he like sticks it up like Gerald's ass. And like it like shoots him upward, and then he like falls into like the chaos energy, like that's used to power the Eclipse cannon, and then he just like dies. And I think it was like it like I think they had like a fart like sound effect there or something like that. So it was like a fart joke. Yeah, it wasn't funny. Wasn't funny at all. But I was just like, thank God he's off screen, because I wasn't a fan of any of that. So, yeah. Yeah. Nah. So he's dead now. So now they're all trying to, like, stop the Eclipse Cannon. Tails and... I almost say they have a moment together where they're like, oh, yeah, like, I'm sorry that I ran off, and, like, yeah, we're a team, blah, 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 whatever, right? Or maybe that's afterwards. That might be after the fact. I can't remember. But they're there, and they're Knuckles and Tails are working with Eggman to try to like move the Eclipse Cannon away from Earth. Shadow and Sonic are in their super forms trying to stop the Eclipse like beam, and they're like holding it back or whatever. As Eggman and them like move it, like steer it away from Earth. It launched towards the Earth. Okay, well, yeah, that also happened. But yeah, they end up moving it out the way, and then you get like the moon being cut in half scene, and I was like, oh, that's right, the moon, the moon being cut in half. Like, okay, so that just happens right there. In the process, I think, is that when the cannon starts going to Earth? I can't remember, but I know Shadow, like, stops the Eclipse Cannon by himself, and Sonic runs out of Chaos Energy and starts falling to Earth. And then Tails, like, Knuckles throws Tails towards Sonic to try to use the ring to save him. And it's like he's trying to, like, get the ring out, but it's like they're heading towards Earth, and they're, like, in a fiery ball of fire or whatever. Knuckles ends up going down and catching both of them, and then using the ring to teleport. And Shadow, how does Shadow destroy the Eclipse Cannon? Does he use Chaos Control? Does he use? Oh, that's right. Shadow took off his inhibitor rings, which was cool. We knew they was gonna do that because he had like clips or whatever. But that was cool. He took the inhibitor rings off. And does he use chaos control? How does he destroy Chad? I can't remember. He pushes the arc. Does he destroy it? Or he pushes the eclipse cannon because it's not the arc, right? The arc destroyed himself. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's how that happens. That's right, because it was like an explosion. It was a big explosion. Yeah, it exploded. Yeah, with Eggman and Shadow. So Eggman's apparently dead. Oh yeah, he gives like he goes on like the television and like streams himself to like Agent Stone, and then he tells him like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, you was my true friend or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. So Eggman like fucking dies. Eggman just fucking dies. I feel like, I don't know, like the Agent Stone thing was just he kind of just gets like pushed away from Eggman, and he just like, oh well, fuck. I guess I'll go wander somewhere in London. I don't fucking know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, if he did more, if he like played a bigger role in like the ending, that would have been cool. But he doesn't really do anything. He's just back on Earth, just there, and like Eggman's like, I'm sorry, friend. Fuck. And then Eggman dies. He's probably not dead. He's probably not dead. But yeah, Eggman dies, supposedly. And Shadow dies, supposedly, right? Shadow doesn't die. He's in the post-credit scene. Which I'm glad he did it. Well, we knew he wasn't gonna die because obviously he didn't die the first time when he died in SA2 because he's too goddamn popular. So Shadow lives. He ends up living. And the second post-credit scene, it's like they show his inhibitor ring on Earth. It like crashed in Earth, like it's like in a crater. And then you see Shadow like picking it up, and it's like, oh yeah. And then I think you have like Live and Learn playing when he does that too. But yeah. So Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, they like are, you know what I'm saying, getting back together, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, Knuckles like Team Sonic. Oh yeah, they have like a little Team Sonic thing. They have like a Team Sonic thing. Was like, oh yeah, it should be Team Sonic, and then Knuckles is like, why you gotta be Team Sonic or whatever? And then that comes back around, and he's like, oh yeah, it's Team Sonic, and then Sonic's like, how about just Team or whatever? And it's like, cool. Oh yeah, there was like, it's so funny when they hopped out the helicopter to go fight Shadow. Sonic just randomly recites a line from SA2 about the low budget flights or whatever, like no movies or snacks or whatever. It was like, I'm out of here. He just does it randomly, like he just reads it off randomly as fuck, and then they jump out. It was so unnatural. It was like, it was kind of cringe. I ain't gonna lie. It was kind of cringe. Like they're about ready to jump out, and then they just turn to like the random person that's on the fucking helicopter, and he just says it. And it's just like, okay. Sure. Oh, they okay then? It was very weird, man. Very weird, like, line placements. Just felt very unnatural in this movie sometimes. But yeah, so Tom's alive. He's like, oh yeah, my arm just broke. So he's alive. And they're like, yeah, let's race one more time or whatever. And then I think the scene, yeah, that's when the credits roll. Oh yeah, they raced at the beginning of the movie. I think I mentioned that, but yeah. So they're racing at the end or whatever. And then the credits roll. And I shit you not. I don't remember the song for real. The song was cool or whatever. I don't care. Like people talk about, oh, the song's ass. It's country music. Why do we have country music and not right? I don't care. I don't care. Like, I don't really care. But I shit you not. We get, like, fucking Sonic the Fighter, like, or I'm like, I don't even know what kind of like what inspired the models for this shit. But I shit you not, we get like a Sonic the Fighters looking like model of Shadow, and it was so crazy because like that's like the closest we're gonna get to like classic Shadow like ever. That shit was fucking crazy. Yeah, the Saturn models or whatever. Like that shit was fucking crazy. That shit was fucking crazy. So I like that. That was cool. But post credit time. This is where I almost lost my mind. I almost lost my marbles here. Alright. I gotta make credit spoil, damn. So Sonic finished the race. He's like, oh yeah, I win or whatever, right? And fucking Metal shows up out of fucking nowhere. Metal Sonic shows up out of goddamn nowhere, bro. And immediately, I was like, oh my god. Terminator? Like Metal Sonic's the fucking Terminator? Whatever, he comes back in time. I was like, wait, Silver? Are we doing Silver, like Silver for the show up? And it wasn't Silver, it was Amy. Amy shows up with a hammer. No, fucking Metal Sonic shows up. Sonic like beats him up or whatever. I was like, okay, what the fuck? I was surprised that they were going so deep into this scene. I was like, what the fuck is happening? I was like, what's going on, right? A whole bunch of other Metal Sonics, like Metal Sonic clones, like start like appearing. It's just a whole bunch of clones. I was like, what the fuck is happening? This is fucking crazy. I'm like, Silver's gonna show up and like freeze all of them and be like, Sonic, I need your help. We have to stop Metal Glass, right? That's not what happened. A hammer comes out of nowhere, and when I saw the hammer, I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. I see what's going on. It's going to be Sonic CD. It's gonna be their take on Sonic CD, right? Because now I'm like, oh, okay, CD also had time traveler stuff. So maybe Amy is... I just hope they do Terminator Metal Sonic. That would be fucking cool, right? Metal Sonic, by the way, looks so fucking accurate. Like, it's like damn near 1-to-1. From what I remember, I just remember him looking very accurate. Like, I was like, oh my god, he looks fucking crazy, right? But Amy shows up, and she's in like a cloak or whatever. And like she takes it up and is like, oh, I'm Amy, right? So Amy and Metal revealed in the mid-credit scene. So that's interesting. Unfortunately, it makes sense because it's like Amy can't carry her own movie, unfortunately. So you gotta put Metal in there because Metal Sonic can definitely carry like being a villain or whatever, right? But I wonder what else they're gonna do because it's like, okay, I'm assuming it's a future stuff. It's gonna be time travel because Sonic CD, right? It has time elements, right? So, I don't know. I'm not sure what exactly they're gonna do with this. But it's so different from like the actual Sonic CD like story, like at all. Amy's like badass or whatever because you know they have to make her badass. They have to make her badass. Can make her a damsel in distress, for sure, right? So. That is gonna be very, very interesting, right? That's gonna be very interesting to see how they do that. Are those gonna be the only two characters introduced into the film? Who knows? Me personally, I wish they would just get off of Earth, and it would just be Sonic characters. I'm tired of humans. You can tell in this movie that there was less humans like in it. Like they focused a lot more on the Sonic stuff, right? But I also find it funny how the pacing is also shot up because of that. And I feel like maybe they're trying to save budget and not like, you know what I'm saying? Like try to not do too much with like the non-human actors because like if they really want to make this shit look good, they gotta pour so much fucking money into it, and maybe Paramount just not trying to do that. That's my theory because like I think just think about the wedding scene, you know, and it's just like goddamn, why was that so fucking long? That was so fucking long. That was like that was a whole thing. It's crazy. So maybe that's what's going on. So maybe they don't want to do just only Sonic characters because it would just cost too much money. But yeah. Very cool. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. Pacing was crazy. Shadow was really fucking good though. The Sonic and Shadow like scenes were really fucking good. Sonic is still far from being ideal for me. But He has some good moments still. He definitely did have some good moments for that iteration of the character. Um, Tails was cool. He doesn't have too much to do, but like he's cool. Knuckles is cool too, but I just hate how he just let Sonic take the Emerald, and the fact that he left it with Wade. Why the fuck? I didn't watch the Knuckles show, so I don't know. Right? Maybe his connection with Wade is way more important, but you just leave it with Wade, and he's playing hockey with it. It's like, dude, it's so fucking stupid, right? But yeah, Shadow was cool. Knuckles could have been better. Tails was alright. Doesn't have too much to do. Sonic was cool, right? Gerald, didn't like Gerald. Like the Eggman stuff with Gerald, I wasn't a fan of. And I wish the Chaos Emeralds had more to do in this game, in this movie. I wish the Chaos Emerald had more to do, like, than it just being a fucking hockey puck. Like, that's just fucking crazy to me. Maria was done really well. And I think just more like fleshed out with like if it was more fleshed out with just in some certain areas, it would have been really good. Again, the pacing just was crazy, very fast paced. It definitely could have been a lot longer. Overall, when somebody asked me what I rated it, I gave it a 7.5. I think I'm just straight up giving it a 7. It's a 7 out of 10. Am I excited for the next movie? Not really. I wasn't that excited for this movie, to be honest. Like, I wasn't like, oh god, yes, Sonic movie 3. Like, don't really care. Way better than the first two movies. And I'm scared to rewatch it because I might be like, oh no, well, actually it's worse. I think even if I rewatch it, it's still better than the first two, for sure. Like this will be the one I rewatch and be like, okay, yeah, like I want to see these fight scenes again and all that stuff. But it's gonna be certain moments where I'm just like, type shit, right? Yeah, smooth 7, for sure, for sure. I don't hate this take on Sonic, but he's not the best version. I'm just not. I just like. I'm in the mindset of like, I'm not gonna lie to you. If it's not like an accurate portrayal of Sonic, I'm probably just not going to like it. Like, I'm just not going to, because it creates this thing to where it's like, okay, Sonic, like they're going to, every time they try to adapt Sonic in any different kind of way, even in IDW, which is canon, but he still acts different in that shit sometimes, and it's fucking weird. They make him very like, they play it so safe with him. They don't do anything interesting with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always the most safest like things that's like digestible for like kids or whatever. Like I look at things like Sonic Prime. He doesn't have anything interesting going on for him. Like anything like unique going on for him. The movie trilogy, again, nothing interesting about the character. The most interesting thing about Sonic be the fact that he's fucking blue, he's a hedgehog, and he's the fastest thing alive. But like, that's like a given. He's so fucking generic in all these different adaptations. It's just like, that's so against what Sonic was, like, is, and why I think he's an interesting character, and why I think he's cool. When you just make him generic, and like every like when you play it safe with the character, it's just who cares? You can get this kind of guy from like a majority of like kid animated movies. Like it's not even like, not even lying to you. You can get him anywhere. It's nothing special here. Even in this movie, you kill somebody close to me, I choose revenge. Oh, I can't do revenge. I'm not like that. Like, that's like the most cookie cutter, like low hanging fruit as like character art to give a nigga in a movie. like it's nothing interesting. It's just nothing interesting at all. So unless they like adapt him like how he was originally created, I'm not going to really care for it, bro. But yeah, that's how I feel about the movie.